Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to do an update on bin number 1. Now, it has been 12 days since my last update. I was hoping to get to it a little bit sooner, but I just didn't have the time to get around to it and make this video, so I pushed it off. The watermelon we added last time, that should be completely gone. Watermelon is one of the fastest foods I've found that the worms consume because, as its namesake is, it's primarily water. So it tends to dissolve down, and you have a lot of sugar, a lot of microbes, a lot of microbial activity, and they tend to just chew right through it. So let's take a look and see how it's doing. I'm sure we're going to need more food, and we'll see how they're doing on where we fed them last time. So let's go and take a look. All right, guys, so here's my bin number 1. I was wrong here. It's actually been 17 days, so 9/20 to 10/7. So it's been a lot longer than I intended. I intended to get to this after like 7 to 10 days. It's been quite a bit longer than that. But let's take a look at it and see how it's doing inside. By the way, I'm recording this on a new camera. I'm trying my GoPro out. So the lid, a little bit wet, a little bit too much moisture, so we don't need to add any moisture this time. It looks like that they've really dug in here to this food, and it's shrunk in with, you can tell by the bedding material. We're going to feed on this side next over here. So let's just dig this up right here. Let's actually move this right over. I'm going to just put this on the lid over here so that way it's out of the way. Let's just take a look in here. Material is definitely a little bit too moist. Probably going to have to add some more paper in here to kind of take care of it. No food, which I did not expect any food to be left in here at this point. So you can see lots of little worms in here though. So we'll see how those are really doing. You know, these little worms, they can really help out a bin if they're expanding. This definitely feels very wet and moist. This actually, I might need to leave the lid off for a little bit to give it some to give it a little dry out a little bit. So big worm right here looks nice and healthy. The worms look pretty healthy, starting to work at this paper a little bit as they ran out of food. As I said, I think there's a little bit too much paper in this. Like the cardboard looks good, and it's flaking apart, but there's a little bit too much paper that is not. So I have a mixture of paper and cardboard typically in my bins. There's a piece of something right here. It looks like a artichoke maybe or something. Let's just dig in here a little bit more. Again, a lot of paper on the bottom. Oh, we have a cocoon right here. If you can see that right there. So that looks good. Overall, this bin looks pretty healthy, except a little compact. No odor that I can find. Overall, yeah, lots of worms. Some big worms in here in this section. This is where the watermelon was, so I would expect there to be quite a bit. I've only seen the one cocoon, though. I was really kind of hoping to see a few more. But let's just do one more handful right here. We'll check the other side also. Ah, here we go. Here's cocoon. So we've got one over here, down there. We've got one there and one there. So there's 3 cocoons there. Let me just grab one of these with my fingers. All right, let me grab a different one with my fingers. So right there, you can really see that cocoon's there. So it looks like this is doing pretty good. I was getting a little worried at the fact that I didn't see too many, and I'm not looking real hard. And I know that I tend to pick them up better on camera than I do when I'm looking in here. Actually, there's another cocoon in there and another one right there, and it looks like one that's already hatched right there. I don't know if you can see that one right there now. So there are more cocoons in here, actually. But these nice, big, healthy worms, too. There's one thing that does happen I've found with my bins when they're a little bit more wet. You get these big worms in here. And that really seems to do well for fishing and stuff like that. If that's what you're looking for, you really want to have a wet bin where the worms kind of have to bulk up to push their way through it. You don't find that in a dry bin. You usually find that they're much smaller. So, all right, so let's push this back in here. Let's kind of dig over here for a minute and just see what it looks like over here. See if we have any worms or not. Oh, again, actually tons of worms right here in the paper. You can really see they're starting to dig into this paper. They look very healthy. So they're really starting to move in this bin and try to eat through the bedding source in here. So this is a chunk of bedding right here, but you know, you kind of look, and there's actually a cocoon right there. So that makes me feel better. As I said, I'm looking for those cocoons, trying to. See how this is kind of, this paper is a little bit too damp. I mean, I probably couldn't get thing of water out of it. You can see some small worms here, but it's clumped together. And that's really not the way I usually like to have my paper. I think there's just a little bit too much of a flat paper / cardboard in here. So like this material right here, this seems very good. It just kind of flakes apart. That's really what you want. You don't want it to ball up like that. And again, more worms in here. And this isn't a side that we fed, a while ago. It wasn't recent. So let's just smooth all this out. Let's start getting ready for the next feeding here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to add a little bit of fresh bedding into here. I think it just needs a little bit more. And I'm going to leave my glove here for just a minute while I grab the bedding material. And again, it's still going to be some paper in here because I've just got a lot of paper I've been trying to go through lately. But we're going to add some of that in there. There we go. We have some of my crushed crab and eggshell that I'm going to add over here too. A little bit more than I wanted, but that's all right. We definitely don't need any moisture in here. Plenty of moisture. So I'm going to grab some. I'm going to put my glove back on here. I'm going to grab some frozen food here that I've got ready to go. So I'm going to throw in some frozen bananas. And I've got some frozen carrots here that are shredded. These are shredded pieces of carrots. So there we go. There's a good helping of food. If I can get it off my gloves. So it's kind of thawing out a little bit, but all right. So there we go. I don't think we need any water on here. I think this is plenty moist. I'm going to put a little bit of paper on top just to kind of conceal it a little bit, or protect the worms, I guess I should say, from the coldness of it. And I'm going to pile some stuff on top here. And again, I'm going to, actually, let's move all this over. We're going to leave this side kind of empty like we did last time so we know where we're feeding next and I don't gravitate towards the middle or something like that. So we're going to just move this over like this, kind of work it over the top. I know where my next feeding is going to go is right here. A little bit of it looks like banana right there. Now let's put our little marker on top here. And as I've said, this cloth will break down. And as you can tell, it's now nice and dark colored instead of nice and bright white like it was when I first put it in. And that's my update for this bin for this week. I'm hoping I could get to it sooner. It's just been a really crazy time at my actual job and I haven't been able to get down here quite as often. But hopefully that'll slow down a little bit as we get a little bit later into October, and I'll be able to get to these a little bit more often. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, of course, leave a comment and let me know. And I will hopefully be back within a week to update you on this. So thank you for watching. Oh, and by the way, let me know what you think about this video. I used a different camera, as I said. Leave a comment down below if you like it or don't like it. I don't know how it's going to be. It's going to be recorded at 4K, 60 frames per second. So a little bit different than my normal 30 frames. So let me know what you think in the comments.